Find the derivative of y equals g of x times tangent x, then evaluate y prime of pi over 3, where g of pi over 3 equals 1, and g prime of pi over 3 equals to negative 2. Y here is the product of two functions, one of which is unknown, g of x, and one of which is known, tangent of x. Since we have a product of two functions, the derivative will make use of the product rule. The derivative of y prime, or dy dx, will equal the derivative of the first, we will call that g prime of x, times the second left alone, tangent of x, plus the first left alone, g of x, times the derivative of the second. The derivative of tangent is secant squared of x. There's our derivative y prime or dy dx. The next thing to do is evaluate y prime of pi over 3. So y prime of pi over 3, which means to plug a pi over 3 in for each of the x's. So we will have g prime of pi over 3, tangent of pi over 3, plus g of pi over 3, and then secant squared of pi over 3. That means to evaluate the secant first, and then square the result. So this will equal to, now g prime of pi over 3 and g of pi over 3, those will be found with the information over here. So according to that, g prime of pi over 3 is a negative 2. The tangent of pi over 3 is the sine of pi over 3, root 3 over 2, over the cosine of pi over 3, 1/2. Plus, g of pi over 3, according to over there, is a 1. And then the secant of pi over 3 is 1 over the cosine of pi over 3. That's a 1/2. And then quantity squared. Let's take those fractions in the parentheses, take the denominator fraction, reciprocate, and multiply with the numerator fraction. So we will have a negative 2 times root 3 over 2 multiplied with the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1, plus 1 times, and then 1 times the reciprocal, which is 2 over 1, and then quantity squared. So this will then give us a negative 2 times, multiply the numerators, 2 root 3, multiply the denominators, that'll be a 2, plus 1 times 2 is 2, 2 over 1 is still 2, so that'll just be a 2 squared. Now in this first term, these 2's here and here can cancel, and so we will have a negative 2 root 3 plus a 2 squared times 1, which is a 4. It's usually best to write the positive term first, so 4, and then the negative term next, so negative 2 root 3. 4 minus 2 root 3.